driving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning. Just doing another share here. Ba-dunk! There's another share. And then I think we're gonna put in fentanyl today too. This one would be appropriate for the fentanyl group. So let's do that. All right. Hey, we got people here. Good morning. Good Wednesday morning. I thought it was Tuesday, but then my wife reminded me it's not. No, it's not. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm going to be your host today and probably most days. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Bada bing, bada boom. Usually I get started about 3-minute mark, which I'm going to do today on the topic. In the meantime, I have another topic that I'm going to be bringing up. And hello, Mr. Leisure. And I think that topic is, I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know what it's going to do. Okay. But with all of our talk of God, there's another side. And we don't talk about it. And he has a name. We call him Satan or the devil, or we can call it different things. But there is, if we can think about it, we need to talk about it. We really do. So I'm probably going to be going live this afternoon to talk about that. I'm not going to do it here. That topic will not go with Keep It Simple. That one is not combining. Don't, that's what it would do on that. But don't, it's got to be its own separate topic. And people came here to hear Keep It Simple. So we'll not be talking about that. Man. So we hear all the time, right? We hear all the time. It's a simple program. Right? And it is a simple program. So simple, a lot of it goes right over our head, right? The book is so simple that if an alcoholic sits down and reads it, he is going to get nothing really out of it. He's going to get some stuff. He's going to be, oh, great, thanks for the knowledge. Now that I know, I'll go on my merry way. All right? It's when somebody sits down and talks with you about it that you start to have these little epiphanies of, yeah, I never thought of it like that. Hi, Patricia. It's good to see you. I never thought of it like that. And that's what I get most of the time from sponsees, right? That are open-minded. So I'm also learning other stuff when it comes to sponsees stuff. So there is a reading with this. So this one I didn't make up. It was too simple for me to keep it just for myself. That was a joke that came out horribly wrong. All right. It didn't make any sense, so ignore it. All right. Few of us are entirely free from a sense of guilt. I know, weird, right? So guilt. My mom used to have a bumper sticker on her bitchin' Camaro for any, I don't remember the name of the band now. I do, but I almost had it. But it's a bitchin' Camaro, My mom drives a bitchin' Camaro. Old punk group. But anyway, on the back of it had a bumper sticker that said, "Screw guilt." I go with that to this day. I will not accept other people's guilt as a form of currency for me to do something for you. It won't work. In fact, if you try and make me feel guilty, there's a better chance I won't do it. Because what you've done is you've given me a yes or no choice. And if you give me that, I'm going to give you no. Almost every single time. Because I will not do things based on guilt. Thank you, Scott. I had a feeling you'd come up with that. Dead milkman. What's that? Now I got Bitch and Camaro stuck in my head. It's better than da 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 banana. My wife went banana. Just go out in the crowd one day and go da 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 and see how many people go banana. I would try that if I wanted to have, stay-at-home syndrome. That's a good one. Stay-at-home syndrome. All right. We may feel guilty because of our words or actions or for things left undone. Uh-oh. Now we're talking about a different kind of guilt. I don't need to feel guilty over that either. If I am willing to make it correct, then I'm done with it. Okay? If that person doesn't want to talk to me, I'm moving on. I'm not going to sit on that for very long. I used to. I did. Oh, man. Heck yeah, that was wouldn't that be a great reason to drink? Yeah, sure would be. Sure. So that means when we get into the program, where are we talking? We're talking about that we feel pretty guilty when we get here. Yeah, I went through that. I did. More shame than guilt. The reason that I say that is because I knew that God was going to give me a chance to try and make it right. Okay? He gave me that chance, and I've taken every opportunity that I can to show my family that I mean business. Okay? And everybody knows you don't bother me during certain times. And I don't get bothered because I am helping other people. And if you interfere with that, I get kind of upset. Then I have to remember that I need to make time and I need to make space for those other people in my life because they're allowing me to do this. That's how my wife and I work. She does what she wants to do and I do what I want to do. And we support each other in it. Okay? And she can't do what she does without me and I can't do what I do without her. So we say. All right. We may even feel guilty because of irrational or false accusations by others. All right. Again, screw guilt. And instead of feeling guilty or mad or something else, take a look at it. Take a serious look at it. Okay? Last week I had somebody pushing around a friend. I said something. And they sent me a message accusing me of something. And they were partially correct. She said, Dion, the reason I unfriended you is because sometimes you put people on blast on video and then you go delete them. And I have done that. I have. That's the reason I deleted them. I knew they were wrong. So I got rid of them. I actually still have them. They're just not found on Facebook. Nobody wants that crap. Yeah, you bet. So, did I write her back? No, there's no need to. She just wanted to start a fight. Okay? And I don't know who unfriended who. I don't care. It doesn't matter. She decided to go a different way. I'm not headed that way. I'm headed my way. So I must be rid. Obviously, I can't put it in. Okay. When I'm troubled by a gnawing feeling of guilt, obviously I can't put it into my day all I'm capable of. Right? Hey, Patricia. Got both Patricias here today. We got Patricia and Patricia. So I must. So when we have gnawing guilty feelings, we're not very good for the day. No. Have you ever done something? Everybody was like, "Oh, that's great, that's great, that's great, that's great." Oh, that sucks. Hey, Laurie. Right? So you do something, you get like 20 compliments, and there's one person that gives you some, I don't know, constructive criticism. And you went, everybody hates. That's how I would act. Everybody hates me now. And I forgot all about the 20 people that said, hey, it was great. What were you looking for there, Dion? Were you looking for accolades? Because it's not how this works. No, listen to that constructive criticism. Listen to it. There are people here that give me constructive. Lori gives me constructive criticism. Scott gives me constructive criticism. Scott, I get it if I ask for it. Lori gives it to me. I love it because Lori and I are on the same page. We are. We post the same shit all the time. It's like she's my psychic sister on the other side of it. But it's so cool because even though I'm not there, even though I've never met this person, it makes me feel a part of. It makes me want to continue doing what I'm doing. Because somebody is coming along and was thoughtful enough to help me. That's how I take it. So I must rid myself of guilt, not by pushing it aside or ignoring it, but by identifying it and correcting the cause. That easy. That's simple. Have I finally begun to learn to keep it simple? Right? Okay. So I did something. It made me feel guilty. This is the next process. God, I see my mistake, and I'm willing to take care of it immediately. If that person's available now, then you pick up the darn phone and you take care of it immediately. If that person is not available, then you need to do it the next available chance. In the meantime, you're going to let God have it. Delayed gratification. Well, I just won't feel right till I tell this person. This person's going on with their day, probably haven't given you a second thought. Maybe. I don't know how big of a jerk you were. Maybe not. Right? But I can tell you one thing. Don't act like it just didn't happen. And then be extra nice. I do not. That is so passive aggressive. Just say, you know what? That wasn't my best moment. I saw it. I'm working on it because I don't like that person either. Now that's an honest statement. That's being truthful. Because do you really like yourself when you're angry? I don't like me feeling. Oh wow. Love it. Well, subject change. I like this. Patricia, I think, is putting this up. Sometimes our sense of importance makes us feel guilty. So our ego, our pride. Good catch. Right on. May I learn not to let myself be guilted. Guess who's the only person that can make you feel guilty? It's you. You're the only person. And I have found that out. And I found it out the hard way. Which is why I'm trying to let people know you don't need to go that route. You don't. Okay. Because it's so much better to go to bed at night going, hey, you know what? I'm glad I settled that, you know. Thank you, Scott. That made me, thanks. Don't do blissful things, correct? But for me, I have to learn how to do that right and the correct way to do it. Hey, Emma, my friend from across the pond, my Irish sister. I love you. I love all of you. I'm really proud of Emma right now, um, because she's working really, really hard at her program, and I have watched her change in the last 60 days, and it has been beautiful to watch. Hence why I do this program. There's nothing better in this whole world than watching young ladies and men claim their lives. I think it's beautiful. These are not tears because I'm sad. Grateful. It's what happens. That's what happens when you get an overflow of gratitude. That's what happens to me. I just start crying. That's right. And guess what? We wouldn't be sober without you. Isn't that beautiful? May I learn to not let myself be guilted, made to feel guilty when I don't consider that I am. You should feel guilty. You should fuck off. So, who knows? Telling us what to do. Go tell an alcoholic, drink that. It won't work. It doesn't work. Reverse psychology doesn't work on alcoholics and addicts. Why? Because we're smarter than that. It's too simple for us. We can't understand it. All right. Not until somebody says, stop. Stop what you are doing. Your behavior is not acceptable. And that's what it was for me. My behavior was no longer acceptable. It was enough. Nobody wanted it anymore. Hey, Gary. It's good to see you, brother. Since I doubtless have the dregs of guilt left over from my behavior, I do not need the extra burden of unreasonable blame laid on me. Guess what, folks? This is going to happen. And I mean, it's probably not going to happen on purpose. Okay? We have to remember that the family has been living a certain way also. They have been protecting the alcoholic. They have been protecting the alcoholic. My wife and kids, who wanted this for me more than anything, and this was a hard conversation. I had to let them know it was okay to let me fail. That it was okay to let me succeed, but that they couldn't protect me from it anymore. They had to let me do it for me. Okay. And that was really, really hard. That was hard for them because my wife loves me. Well, guess what? We did that. Okay. And now my wife doesn't need to worry about me anymore. She doesn't have to worry about coming home and seeing me drunk, or one of the kids coming home and seeing an empty bottle in the trash and just running out because it's starting again. I'm so grateful those days are over. And I do not feel guilty about anything from my past. Well, darn it, that's a lie. That's a lie. Yeah. But it's because I'm not getting the things that I want. Okay. And I'll give you a good example. I don't want to talk about this. I came to do the Daily Trudge, and there was a memory, and it has my granddaughter had my granddaughter on it, and it just, my stomach sank because I haven't seen them in a few years. I just don't understand. And I miss them so much. But I can't go running around pointing a finger. That's not going to do any good. That's just going to make things worse. Right? So, I count on God to help me sort out and get rid of these twinges and pangs of guilt. Gosh, what was I just talking about, right? A twang or a pang. Just like that. And that's where I went. I went to God because I knew there was nothing I could do about it today, and I had to let it go. Actually, there is something I can do about it today. I can become a better person. I count on God to help me sort out and get rid of these twinges and pangs of guilt, which, whether justified or not, need to be recognized and unloaded. Today I'll remember the verdict of guilty is not for life. In most cases. So, what do we learn here? We learn that there's a few kinds of guilt. Number one, there's your basic guilt, doing something wrong that we got to repair, right? Patricia brought up a real good one, that sometimes we feel guilty because of our own ego or our pride, which I thought was very interesting and true, right? Then we have the guilt other people try and lay on us, okay? Because, I don't know, this is the way I see it. Manipulated people hang out with manipulated people, okay? We do need to kind of get rid of the word toxic. We need to stop calling people toxic. It's name calling. Yeah, huh? And I've noticed that, Scott, huh? Even the other day, pride, ego. It's all ego. And what is ego? Fear. Fear. For me, that's what it came down to. Every single one of my resentments, all my anger, all my depression, all of it came from fear. Fear that I was not going to get what I wanted. Fear that what I did have was going to go away, right? Why was I just feeling guilty? Because I had a fear I was never going to see my grandkids again. That I'm not going to get what I want. That's what hurts, okay? So what did we do? What do we do when we break that down? Those are the causes and conditions. It's happening because of this. And this is conditional, and that's why it hurts. Okay? So, I am being selfish. Me missing my granddaughter has to do with my ego. Do you see that? Very interesting. Way to bring that up. It's one path I didn't think of, and that's why we do this. That's why I get these conversations started, because I want to learn too. I want to learn too. I want to be a part of it. You know, I'm just the person starting the conversation. That doesn't make me the leader. It doesn't make me right. It doesn't make me anything except another human being that would really, really, really like to help a lot of people. I really would. So, I'm going to go work on helping other people. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. This was a fun one. It really was. Thank you, everybody. I love you. Peace out. And